Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, this is Hannah Berner from Giggly Squad. Have you ever put on a bra that makes you feel like a goddess? Prepare to be obsessed with the Dream Angels Wicked Bra from Victoria's Secret, the iconic brand behind the world's most comfortable bras. And I only wear the most comfortable bras. The bestseller features an innovative sling for perfect lift without padding, and the fit is chef's kiss. Awaken your inner goddess with new colors and super femme lace embroidery. Find out why this bra has thousands of 5-star reviews and counting. Shop it in stores and online at victoriassecret.com.
Every idea starts with a problem. Warby Parker's was simple. Glasses are too expensive. So they set out to change that. By designing glasses in-house and selling directly to customers, they're able to offer prescription eyewear that's expertly crafted and unexpectedly affordable. Warby Parker glasses are made from premium materials like impact-resistant polycarbonate and custom acetate. And they start at just $95, including prescription lenses. Get glasses made from the good stuff. Stop by a Warby Parker store near you.
Hello, and welcome back to the Psych Legal Pop Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about popular culture through the lens of an attorney and a therapist. I'm the therapist, Tess Brigham.
And I'm Brooke Brigham. I'm the attorney.
And we are back. The pods are open. This is Love is Blind, Season 8, Episodes 1 through 6. So we're going to cover all 6 episodes in today's show. So, Brooke, we are in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yes.
High level, what did you think?
Well, I've never been to Minneapolis. I don't know really much about it, except it's the home of Prince.
Yes.
One of my favorite people to ever live. R.I.P. I'm not impressed. I'm sorry. And with the men, okay? So far, I don't have any problems with the women yet. I'm sure something's coming up. But these men, ugh.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, I guess this sounds mean, but like when I first saw everyone's pictures, I was a little bit like, these women are gorgeous. And the men, ew. Like nobody is super wow.
Well, but love is blind.
Yes, I know. Love is blind. Love is blind.
Love is blind.
But I wasn't terribly, excited to see any of them. And then it's got a very different energy. And I don't know if Love is Blind has reached that tipping point where it's just too popular. I don't get the sense that anyone there is desperate to become famous or internet famous as of right now. I mean, trust me, things can change. But what's so bizarre, just the energy felt weird. Like there were times that people would say something and I'm like, are we watching the same show? Are we having the same interaction? Like, that's your response to that person? That feels so odd. There was a lot of that. And the other big thing that I wrote down was this. I now know why women are tired, because the women are doing all the emotional labor. Like, just the conversations between Molly and Lauren, like just all the emotional work that we're constantly doing for each other, for men, kind of like, almost like these two women kind of like talk things out because Dave couldn't do it. And Dave couldn't be clear with them. So the two of them had to have a conversation. And it's like, God damn it. This is why we cannot fight the patriarchy. We are too tired from dealing with this.
You can just not deal with these idiots. I mean, it's like, well, look, these people are young, and you have to realize that young means something totally different now in the age of, these are people who have been raised online, they've been raised dating through Instagram and through apps, and they just don't have the skills. They just don't. We've talked about this many times before. Like in our day, by the time a man was in his late 20s or 30s, he had to date a lot. He'd had to do a lot of work, a lot of work, because you actually had to go out into the world, out in person, talk to women, make them like you, impress them, just you yourself, no photos, no videos, no filtered pictures. Literally, men had to work for a decade, to get to a point where, they were good at this. These men have zero skills because these young people, they don't date in reality. It's all through Instagram and whatever. I mean, they're like David. Oh my God. He has no skills, no social skills.
Yeah. Well, what's wrong with
whatsoever.
you? That's your opening line. What's wrong with you? And here's the thing, Dave. Okay, I can see how maybe that might be funny. Fine. But that is not something you do when you can't see the other person's face. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There are certain interactions and conversations that have to be in person. And like that comment is not going to land. Like people have to see the smirk. And that's the problem. It was the weirdest question. I think he figured out pretty quickly that it was a terrible question.
Well, and it was rude. And you know what? And I've had men say that version of that to me, like, oh, why are you still single? Not what's wrong with you, but why are you still single?
It's like, well, look at the men.
Implying like there's something, okay, yeah, you're attractive, whatever. So why are you single? And yeah, well, why are you single?
But it's also a little bit like, so what? My goal in life should be getting married. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Yeah. I mean,
no, it was bad. That Dave, and he was so cringy. He was cringy, honestly, throughout. I found every interaction anyone had with him was cringy in some way. He's just icky. And Ben.
Yeah, oh yeah, Ben. Wait till we get to Ben, because I have a lot of feelings about Ben.
He's icky. He has no social skills. He has no. You know what I wrote down? These men are all beta men. None of them have any fucking game. I'm sorry. They are just.
There was no Clay to be seen.
No
I know
Clay is an asshole, but God damn it, he's got game. And
he's gorgeous. And I think Clay, and I'm sorry, Clay can be molded. I really feel like Clay can get there.
He'll get there someday.
He will. I have faith in him. I really do. But
I can't believe we're still talking about Clay.
Because he was really cute.
He is my all-time Love is Blind crush.
Really? He is.
Oh,
I have to say, I do keep thinking about him too. He is so cute. He was so cute. Well, and she was, what's her name?
Oh, AD.
She was gorgeous.
They were the dream
she was
couple.
Stunning.
Yeah.
She was so stunning. Oh my
If only that could.
If only those two procreated. That's what the world needs. All right. Well, let's break it down. Let's talk about, and we had very little of the Lachey's.
Thank God. I mean, I don't know what they have to say.
So no Lachey's, but then there were, of course, triangles and other kinds of situations. But should we get to let's start, do you want to start with the easier couples, the ones that were like very straightforward?
I guess so. I want to make one first observation about, okay, did you notice, I counted, this happened at least 4 or 5 times. And it was always a girl when they would walk into the pods and they'd say, hello, hello.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh my God, has Baba Booey created like, is he part of the vernacular now? Because it's really weird because, there's a ad I always hear on podcasts. It's for this woman. Her name is Brooke something. And she has a makeup, is it a beauty or makeup podcast or something? Anyway, and she always comes on. She's like, hello, hello. And it's like, is this a thing now?
That's a good question. Is everybody a Howard Stern fan, or is it just some people say hello, hello? Do you know what I mean? Like, do they have any do they even get the connection?
I doubt that they get the connection because I mean, these guys are too young to be Howard Stern fans. I don't think young people are becoming Howard Stern fans. I think.
You don't think?
Well, I don't know. Maybe
I think so.
I feel like it's just all the people who've always been his fans. But I mean, I think it's picked up. Like it's been passed down. Like Fox Police started it.
Yeah.
And it somehow has made its way into our popular culture vernacular. I was struck by that.
The next one that needs to happen is my career is at a 9 and my love life is at a 2.
Oh, someone posted that recently on TikTok or something. And I had to stop and watch it. And I was like, oh my God.
Oh God, that is the greatest video ever. I mean, that's every time you say on our Patreon, hello. It's like, I can just picture Gary in that, like, oh God, that video of him. If people don't know what we're talking about, Howard Stern's producer, Gary Delabate, recorded a video where he was trying to get an old girlfriend back. And it is the funniest thing.
Yeah. And he starts out the video with saying, hello. And then he goes into this whole explanation. Yeah. How his professional life is at a 9, his personal life is at a 2, and they're maybe in different places. And he's like, and they made fun of him mercifully for years and years. And I mean, at least once a week.
Well, the other thing about that video is it's one of those things where I would have taken that to my grave. I would have never told anybody. And I think
how did they get a hold of it? Did he?
No, he suggested it. He said it. He suggested it. And then I think the minute the words came out of his mouth, which I could totally see the words coming out of my mouth and then regretting it. I think the words came out of his mouth. And remember, they had to pay him. But but I think they ended up only paying, like, I think he made like $25,000. They got fans to like put in money. And so those fans could come and be part of the episode because, they didn't have this budget to give him all this money. But if you think about it, even back then, $25,000 is not enough for the joy that it has brought all of us.
Anyway, that's the origin, everyone, of hello.
Okay. Now, who should we start with? You tell me, where are we going?
Okay. Well, the quickest relationship that we didn't even really get to see what the heck is going on is Joey and Monica.
Yeah, I think we're going to see more about Joey in later episodes.
And he is a self-described golden retriever, and he is like a golden retriever flopping all around.
Yeah, he's got
happy.
Long blonde hair.
It turns out she is too. And we didn't see it as much at first, but the more time she spent with him, she started taking on the golden retriever characteristics. And then when they actually met,
it was like, I swear to God, I thought it was at a dog park.
Puppies playing.
Yes. It was 2 little golden retriever puppies that are so excited to see each other at the park. And oh my God, my best friend is here.
They were on the ground. They were like rolling around. I mean, literally physically playing. And honestly, I don't remember a goddamn thing about either one of them.
Yeah. All I remember I wrote down Joey's 34, Monica's 27. And the only other thing that I wrote down was that Monica seemed to feel a lot of shame because she was in between jobs, but she's taking care of her grandmother. I'm like, why would you feel shame around that? I
don't know. I don't even remember because it happened so long ago. I mean, after watching 6 episodes of this is really hard. This is the hardest part of this show for me is the pod dating. Cause it goes on for so long and there's so much happening, but yeah, I can't remember anything about either one of them.
Well,
honestly.
And in the beginning, what's so hard too about the first couple episodes is you're like, should I write this person's name down?
I don't know yet.
Ever
gonna see them again? Yeah.
Yeah. And there are, and sometimes they'll scan on people like Brad, dentist. And you're like, I don't know who you are, Brad. But like, I used to write all those people's names down. So in order to get clear, you kind of have to wait till people actually couple up. And then you can start to, you should see my first page of notes or like some kind of like, conspiracy theory thing. So yeah, that's all I remember about them. I mean, we're going to learn in the next upcoming episodes. He mentions that he has OCD, which is not the end of the world, but it is something that he probably should have mentioned. I mean, it's a mental health issue.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
If they're getting engaged.
Yeah, I think your partner should know that and know, like, this is something I'm dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
And these are I take this medication, or this is the therapy that I do. So I don't know.
Agreed. All I wrote down was that for Joey is that he loves dancing. And, you know, he's a physician's assistant.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing about him that's weird. That is a very difficult job, and you have to do a lot of training. You're damn near a doctor, you know, like without doing the whatever residency and all that. But so he's obviously intelligent and has this very difficult job. And he's a golden retriever with OCD.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we'll see. I can't wait to see what happens with these two.
And the thing that's crazy too is that she loves the hair. You know, like she loves the hair. She loves man buns. Who would have expected? Who would have thunk it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, so far so good.
Yeah. So they were the first reveal. So they're great. And then I think the only other kind of straightforward one well, maybe not. Sarah and Ben. There's
any straightforward ones.
Sarah and Ben, or Devin, Virginia, and Britt.
Okay, well, we can talk about Devin, Virginia, and Britt, I guess. You know, we have the triangle here, you know, the
very mature triangle. This was the most mature triangle here, you know?
Yeah, seemingly so. I mean, Devin is younger. He's 28, but he seems more mature.
Yeah.
He's a varsity girls basketball coach. You know, he's into basketball, and then Brittany bonds with him because she played Division I basketball. And then Virginia went to the same high school as Devin, but she's like 5 years older than him, so they didn't know each other. And she's a doctor.
Yeah, she has a PhD in healthcare administration.
Yeah, and she studies, you know, racial disparities in healthcare. And she's a former NBA dancer. She's a marathon runner, so she's
very pretty.
She's a go-getter. Yeah, she's a go-getter. But I don't know. The thing with Brittany, I think he and Brittany had a lot in common, obviously, with the basketball stuff, and they had a good relationship. But then there's this scene where she tells him that for a while she dated another woman, and he seemed really uncomfortable and put off by that.
Yeah, well, in the order of the episode, I was going to ask you about this too, which is we see the scene where he shares his journey, and I want to talk about that, his, you know, what happened to him and his injuries. But she then shares that with him. The next scene we see of the two of them, Britt is essentially kind of breaking up with Devin, and Devin's breaking up with her. And I was like, I don't think his reaction was awful, but I didn't think it was great either when she shared about her sexuality. So I was kind of surprised that we jumped all the way here. Do you know what I mean? I felt like there were some things missing, but did she get such a vibe from him that he had a problem with this, that she just said, okay, you know what, I was on the fence anyway, maybe I got to get out now?
Well, we have no idea because this is so heavily edited. I think that maybe they seem to have more of a friend vibe. And, you know, they had a lot in common and whatever. And maybe hearing that from her pushed him over the edge. And I think that she could probably tell. And that maybe there wasn't, they were just they were friends. Yeah. And they didn't really have a spark beyond that. Because it was pretty mutual and, you know, not dramatic in any way when they broke up.
But then he tells, and we hear the story twice. I don't know why we had to hear it twice, but we hear the story twice about how, right, he's in high school. He starts to feel all of this pain. He loved basketball. He's, you know, so upset. He's suicidal. He can't take it. And then he goes into this whole thing about, you know, and I abused ibuprofen. And I'm like, are you serious?
Ibuprofen.
I mean, I'm kind of like, and again, I've worked in drug and alcohol treatment centers, so I've heard every story under the sun, but I was like, who the hell cares about ibuprofen? I mean, no, it's not good to take that many ibuprofen, but it's a little bit like, I feel like it might be Oxy or Norco or something else, because
he was just saying ibuprofen.
Yeah. Maybe it was something, what's that? There's something you can get with ibuprofen, like the codeine. You can get like a jolt with the ibuprofen, like, you know how they do codeine with things, like they'll add
hydrocodone.
Yeah. I think there's a way to get like a super, whatever that is. But, it was just so funny how he talked about that. Like he has all the shame about the ibuprofen.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think he was on something stronger.
I think it was a lot. I think it was a lot stronger. I really do.
Yeah.
And I think that's why he feels the shame. But he then figured out, he finally went to a specialist, and then he figured out that, he had to have both of his hips. He had to have surgery on both of his hips. And now he feels so much better. That's crazy too. Like crazy. It sounds like he had something, something was butting up against each other. I don't know, something in his back. So anyway,
I don't know. I'm scared about him because he's really young.
He is. And Virginia is an interesting one, because I can see how Virginia maybe thought that, I can see how someone like her would say, you know what, maybe this would be good for me. I think that because she's very beautiful, I do think that men are very much interested in her.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she gets hit on a lot. I don't think that's the problem. But we learned very quickly with her that she is, she has a very hard time opening up. She has a very hard time being vulnerable. And the thing is that this experiment kind of requires you to be vulnerable pretty quickly, and not with everybody, but I was getting a little nervous for her, because I was like, I think you're going to keep kind of shutting him out a little bit. And if someone can't see your body language or see how you are, it's easy for someone to misinterpret that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So then I guess, are we ready to cut to when he proposes to her, and then they meet, and she is not attracted to him at all.
Oh, really? I have to go back and watch that again. Maybe I missed that.
Oh God, there was no chemistry. I mean, there was ick. Okay,
I have to go back and watch that, because maybe I wasn't paying attention enough. Okay.
She barely would make eye contact with him. Like, she kept looking away, looking down, and he was, he's just like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. Yeah. And she's like, thank you. And she's like looking down and saying, thank you. And she sort of gave some performative, hug and maybe a little kiss. They didn't kiss like passionate kiss. They might have kissed, I don't know, like a peck or something. There was literally no chemistry. She was very disappointed. Because he's not fine.
He's not Clay.
He's not Clay.
He's not even half of Clay. I'm sorry. And his hair is like, I don't get it. It just looks messy.
Cut right. Yeah. He needs a good haircut and a good shave. And he needs a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't mean to be mean, but she's like stunning. So, he needs to step up his game.
Yeah. That's interesting. So I wonder if she'll even make it out of Mexico or wherever they're vacationing. Oh, poor Devin.
I don't know. It was really anticlimactic, to say the least. It was really, she wasn't into it. You don't remember that? To me,
no, apparently. Apparently. I must have been looking down or taking notes or something, because I have to go back now and watch it again. But again, there's so many episodes. It's like you're taking so much in. I must have just missed it.
Yeah, that's why you can't take too many notes. You can't get bogged down in the note taking, because especially when they first meet, because there's a lot of body language and stuff to pick up on. So anyway, I'm not real hopeful about them, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
should we go to Sarah and Ben?
I guess. Now, Ben, I'm not sure. I think I dislike him the most.
Out of all the men?
Yeah, it's hard between Ben and David. But, Ben is just, I don't know. Ben is, I don't know what to believe about him. He pretends to, he says he didn't vote in the last election.
Mm-hmm.
He pretends to know nothing about politics, nothing about George Floyd, even though it happened in the city where he lived and there were riots and it was national news for months. He said what did he say?
He says, I stay out of, because Sarah, well, the first indication was because Sarah says her sister is gay. And she said, that's really, I need for you to know that. And I cannot be with someone who's going to have an issue with it or, does not, that's not on that same page. So he was a little bit like hesitant, and she could feel that. And, and then we get, I think it's a different,
well, wait a minute. Let's go back to that for a second. The language that he used when she was telling him this and basically asking him if he had a problem with it, he was saying, I wish I could find my notes now because there's so many of them. This all just gets lost. But anyway, he basically said something to the effect of, oh, yeah, I'm fine with those people, or I'm fine. I don't have a problem with that community or that group. The way he talked about it was icky and not good.
Yeah.
Not sincere.
Kind of distancing himself.
Well, I mean, he couldn't even say it out loud. He couldn't even say, oh yeah, I don't have any problem with gay people. I don't have a problem that your sister is gay. No, I support the LGBT community. No, he said that community, those people, that, no. God, why can't I find it in my notes? I had it written down word for word, but I mean, no, it was terrible. It was awful, his response. And then why didn't she pick up on that? It's like, if this is so important to you, you didn't pick up on the fact that he couldn't even speak about it correctly.
But I think that that's how she felt. Like, I do think she did pick up on it because that was one of their initial conversations. And then the next conversation is her asking him questions about politics. And that's when we learned he didn't vote in the last election. And, she asked him about like Black Lives Matter. And he's like, oh, I stay out of Black Lives Matter. I don't pay attention to that. It's like, yeah, what a luxury, Ben.
Yeah.
To not have to pay attention to what's going on in the world. Yeah, that is the problem, Ben. That is the problem.
Yeah, he can't even pretend to even, like intelligently talk about this stuff.
Because I wonder if he has a different feeling.
Yes.
I just find it hard to believe. You're 27 years old. You're in Minnesota. All of this stuff is going on around you. 2020, you were 22 years old 5 years ago or whatever it was, 23. And so that's the thing. It's like, and you don't have any opinion.
You don't have an opinion
at all about any of that.
No, I think Ben is very conservative. And see, Sarah is sort of new to this wokeness because she said that she did not pay attention to politics until Trump and George Floyd and probably her sister coming out.
Yeah.
She wasn't really, thinking about it either, but now she is. So she's asking him, and he says later, I think, that when they start talking about religion, he talks about how he goes to church every week. And he's, I think that's something that, because he's basically asking her, would you have a problem with that? And I'm sure that his family would expect her to, do certain things and do a certain way and think a certain way. And
yeah, well, and the other question is, there's one thing if it's like he's going every week versus is the expectation I'm going to go with you. I
think
also
that's what he was asking.
Oh, really? Because I mean, I thought he was more asking her like, oh, this is something that I do. Do you have an issue with it? I didn't know that meant that she has to come with him, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's what that meant.
No, I think that he was, wanting to know about if she would go with him. Absolutely. No, he's not going to go to church by himself. I get this feeling like he comes from this very prim and proper family, and he and his wife are expected to do certain things, and that's the feeling I got by the way that they were talking. But again, I don't know, it's so hard to tell. They're talking so casually. It's like you're talking to this person about, oh, do you want to get engaged after 3 days? Okay, well, I go to church. Is that okay? Would you go? Oh, okay, yeah, sure. I mean, this is nuts. This is nuts. It's like, but how do you feel about civil rights? Because Sarah actually said, well, it's very important to me, that basically whoever I'm with, like, believes in basic civil rights.
Yeah, that my sister should have the same rights as everybody else. Yeah.
And he's like, oh, yeah, sure. But I can't tell you anything about George Floyd. I sort of barely heard about that.
Who was that?
In the news. I don't know. Was that guy, but right during the pandemic? Huh? What? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's something off about him. When they do see each other, they are very attracted to each other, and there's like chemistry and a spark and all of those things. But I'm kind of surprised she kept going. I really thought that once he sort of made this position about these social issues, that she would get the ick and leave. So I'm kind of surprised, because if they did get to some sort of resolution or talking about it, they didn't air it. And I wonder with Sarah if she was like, didn't even want to revisit that, almost like, oh God, don't open that box.
Yeah. Like, oh, I'll find out more about this later.
Yeah.
But because when she got, they met, she got the ring. She was like just really obsessed with the ring. She kept looking at the ring, and then she's like, let's look at ourselves in the mirror. And she's like, we should just elope. I mean, she was just getting all like, weird and loopy. And it was like, wow. Yeah. Okay.
Because I think that there is, and maybe I've said this every season, but I do think there's something there when you get into the pods and you get into this experiment, that there's like this sunk cost fallacy. Like, you have gone through so much emotional labor that it's almost like, God damn it, I'm going to get engaged, or God damn it, my story is going to be told. And I wonder with Sarah if that's a bit of what's going on. I think that's a bit of what's going on here with her, of like, I put so much time and energy into this guy. He is saying to me that he's willing to talk about these things, do these things. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Let's just keep moving forward.
Yeah. Well, and also look, this is the 8th season of this show. Everybody knows if you don't like the guy, you just don't get married.
Yeah.
You just break up with them. And it's like every season, what is there, maybe 1 or 2 people who actually go to the altar and get married? And of those, how many of those stayed? I mean, from the last season, there's only only 2 couples got married, right? And only 1 is still married. So, the odds are not great.
Who were the people from last year?
Well, it was,
oh, that's right. Oh no.
It was, what's his name? It was, I can't remember their name. Okay. Taylor and, what was the guy's name who got
the glow up.
Garrett.
Who likes spearfishing.
Garrett.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, yes. So they're still married. But then, what's his Tyler and what's her name? Ashley broke up. They got married on the show.
Oh, that's right. That's right. God, I can't. Oh, you have a good memory. I'm like, who are those people?
You saw it took me a minute. I'm just like, but yeah, no, look, they know, okay, well, let me just give this a try. Let me see. Because, you do have to get to know someone outside of the pods and live with them and be with them. So they're just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I guess so.
What happens.
All right.
What happens.
So you want to talk about Daniel and Taylor, or David and Molly and Lauren?
Well, let's do the David, Molly, Lauren one, because David and Lauren actually do get, well, didn't we just talk about them? We
talked a little bit about them
about David. Okay. David. Yeah. So they actually do get engaged, and Yeah, David's the one who's real smooth with his lines. And I don't know, I just thought to me, he just seems very insecure.
Yeah. I mean,
very insecure person. And he's kind of a dick.
Yeah. Well, we learn very quickly, like he's in medical sales and I guess he's around. So he must do medical sales for plastic surgeons or something because he's claiming like not every medical office is full of plastic surgery people. And it sounds like he's dated a lot and dated women simply for their looks. And, he obviously has struggles with vulnerability and getting close and opening up and being vulnerable and some of these other things. So it sounds like this quote unquote experiment would be good for him. But yeah, that initial, at first I was like, is this guy a douche or what is going on here? I mean, I thought he was going to be this year's douche, this year's jerky guy that doesn't get paired off.
I think he's just super insecure because later, after he gets to know Lauren a little bit, he says that he never felt love outside of his own family. He was not popular, never felt like he belonged, not even in sports. And yeah, so yeah, there you go. Like he's really, really trying hard to fit in.
Yeah.
And, I'm not sure why he didn't pick Molly or why but he made this comment. So he was in a love triangle with Molly, who was this woman who she also said she'd never have been in a relationship. She's like 30.
Well, she said she'd never had a serious relationship.
But, she's like around 30. I can't remember her exact age.
She's 29.
29. Okay. And so she seemed real fun and flirty. And I think he liked that about her. And Lauren was more maybe serious. I mean, she could be, whatever, but she came off as being more serious, more mature. And he made a comment about something about how his sister would really like Lauren over Molly. And I wonder if he was really thinking, well, who is my family going to like?
That's interesting because they did bring up the sister. And I remember thinking like, why is this? He seemed very panicked about it, about what is my sister going to think? What is my sister going to think? And obviously I think everybody has at least one family member or a couple who have are like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? But yeah, he seemed quite panicked. I thought it was weird how he was so odd with Lauren about her being a former teacher. Do you know what I mean? It was almost kind of like he was worried about the fact that she was a teacher. And, like
in what way?
Well, I got the sense that almost like he was sort of stereotyping her. Like, you're going to be dorky. You're going to be like correcting everything I do. You're going to, kind of nerdy or whatever. You're not cool.
Right.
And Lauren Lauren at least pushed back a little bit of like, huh?
She's like, I've got tattoos.
Yeah. Like, the F are you talking about? Like, there's lots of different kinds of teachers in the world. But yeah, Dave was like peeling an onion because it felt like every episode you kind of got this douche and then you're like, oh, is he kind of a nice guy? No, he's just really insecure and unhappy. You know what I mean? And I think Molly, is very interesting because I think, and Molly, if you're listening, I think that Molly is one of these people, and I used to be one of these too, and I think a lot of women are, where you just don't really say what you want. You kind of are the get along girl. Like I get the sense that Molly, because everything, she was so amenable to everything. Right,
she's like the cool girl.
Yeah, the cool girl. Yeah. And I understand that one, which is right. This the way society, kind of makes you feel as a woman that, especially in the dating process, like you should not have too many wants or asks, or you should not want this or that because you don't want to be high maintenance, or you don't want to be this, or you don't want to be that. And it's a little bit like Molly, you have the right to ask for what you want. You have the right to say, no, I'm not cool with this, which is kind of what Lauren was doing. I mean, Lauren really called him. I think Lauren's good for Dave, I have to say. She called him on a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. Well, in episode 2, I have written down here that, Dave comes in for a date. David, I don't know why I wrote Dave. He comes in with a date, comes in for a date with Molly. And he basically admits to her that he's a loser in business and in school. And he knows that she won't judge him. And that's why he's telling her these things. And then he says that he cheated on his last girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And again, it was like this thing where he wanted to see if Molly was going to be cool with all that.
Mm-hmm.
And she was.
Yeah.
She was kind of like, oh, yeah, well, that's okay. I mean, literally.
Yeah.
It didn't seem to faze her at all. This guy sitting here telling you that he's basically a big loser. And you're like, oh, that's all right. I can look past that.
Yeah. And I think that's part of that piece of it. And I hate that they made such a big deal about the fact that like Molly's never had a serious relationship before. Molly's never had this and that. It's like, have you tried dating men in their 20s? Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit like none of them, it's hard. It's hard. You end up in a lot of like situationships and various things. And, it's hard to find that right person. And so I kind of feel like they made her seem like a bit of a loser.
Yeah.
And I'm here to defend her, but I think, but at the same time, and I do, and I think she kind of I think she's in her head about that. I think she feels weird about it and she feels awkward about it. So be the cool girl. The cool girl doesn't care about these things.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I just don't think she was being authentically, maybe truly who she was.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, she was trying to please him.
Yeah. Yeah. Psych Legal Pop. We'll be back after these messages.
This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
And she just, whatever he did or said, she just never pushed back on. Now, do you think that he was, well, let me back up for a second. So we're bebopping through. Dave is dating both Molly and Lauren. It's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Molly is very vocal when she comes into the lounge, like excited about the date. So Lauren, and I would have a real hard problem. Being in that lounge with those women would be so hard.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, seeing someone's reaction after they come back, it must be so difficult. So Lauren's kind of taking space and all of that. So, and so it's revealed that one of Molly and Dave's last dates, Dave says to Molly, oh, well, I should be asking you, what kind of ring do you want? To me, if someone was asking me what kind of ring I wanted, I would think they were pretty serious. I would think that I was like their number one or down to the wire. And he has that conversation with her. Do you think that she misinterpreted everything that he did? Or do you really think that maybe he was kind of working them both?
I think he was working them both. I think he wanted to see what their reaction was. I think that Dave had so many things in his mind, like so many requirements, like, okay, like I've got to pick this person who's like this and this. And he was basically feeling both of them out, in the same way. And, seeing, oh, how are you going to react to this? Okay, I'm going to tell you I cheated on my last girlfriend. How are you going to react to this? I think he was just all over the place just to see
Yeah. I mean, because there was this big, discrepancy between what the women were saying. I mean, Molly, and I too thought that Molly was his number one when she walked back in. And then when Lauren went to say, hey, what's going on here? This is what Molly's been saying. I'm confused. Dave really backtracks and is like, no. And he's like shocked that she would ever think these things. It's like, well, no. I mean, you were asking her about rings and such. I mean, I really felt like he was, maybe Molly misinterpreted the idea of I'm his number one, or maybe some of those words. I mean, it's a bad case of telephone, but I think it was enough to believe that Molly genuinely thought that was, I don't think she was making it up.
No, I think he was playing them both, just seeing how each one of them would react. And then in the end, I don't know why he made this decision he did, but he did.
I think that I agree. I think that Lauren felt like the better choice, or the more mature choice, or whatever that is. I also think that Molly was the cool girl and Lauren is a fixer. And I think that Lauren sees a problem and sees the stuff, because I would have to believe did he say all those things that he said, like cheating on the girlfriend and I'm a loser in business and all that to Lauren?
I don't know. They didn't show it if he did.
Yeah. So I'm like, did you say that to her?
Because I'm like, what does Lauren see in him? She just seems so much more, well, like you said, maybe she just likes to fix people, but she just seems a lot more grounded and like intelligent. Like, I don't know why she'd be attracted to him.
Yeah. I mean, because I thought the way she handled him and the things she said to him, I thought were very mature, very right on, like really kind of like, I'm trying to understand what's going on here, and not accusatory. And I don't think that's easy. I don't think it's easy to have those conversations. And what's this? I got mixed up here. What was the other thing too? But then Dave almost has a heart attack. Do you remember that? When he starts breathing heavily and he's like, okay, he like literally, I think he was having a panic attack.
A panic attack. Yeah.
A panic attack. He starts having a panic attack about this. And
I don't remember that.
And Lauren is so understanding. That was the other part of it too, is these two women, like Molly basically rolled out the red carpet to let him break up with her. And she was so kind and nice to him about it. Then, Lauren is like jumping over hoops to like make him feel good and comfortable. And then these two women are getting together in the lounge, having to like process all this stuff with each other, and being the bigger people. Ugh.
Yeah, he's really bad. And I wrote down here that at one point, Lauren, I think, confronts him about all his bullshit. Yeah. And he says he doesn't want to get caught up in the girl drama.
Yeah.
Girl drama. This is your drama, dude.
You're causing this, Dave.
You created all of this. I really don't like him. I mean, really.
Now, who do you hate more, Ben or Dave?
To be determined.
Okay. We shall see, people.
Right now, David.
Yeah, okay.
We'll see.
I think I like Dave a little bit more than you, so I'm going with Ben.
Okay.
That whole like BLM, I don't pay attention to it comment.
I don't get involved with that.
I don't get involved.
Yeah. I just keep out of it. I'm staying out of it.
And again, Ben, that's the issue. That's what it means. Black Lives Matter.
Right.
That's
you have the luxury of just.
I'm just going. Yeah, that's privilege. Okay, Ben. Don't get me worked up. Okay, so do you want to do Daniel and Taylor?
Okay.
Or do you want to do the triangle? Mason. I have so many notes for Mason, Alex, exhausting. Madison, blah, blah, blah. You want to do them?
Let's do them first. Okay. I have to say, these four of them wasted a lot of my time.
They're a bunch of numbnuts. I swear to God.
They're all cuckoo crazy pants. They really are. I was just like, it was exhausting. It went on and on and on. And in the end, nobody ended up together.
No, not one person.
No.
So, I mean, that annoyed me. I was like, dear God.
It really was annoying. And, this Madison, whew.
So let's talk about each of the people. So let's talk about because Madison was at the core of this.
She's kind of the linchpin. Yeah.
Yeah. So Madison is 27. And we learned very quickly that she had a very rough childhood. Her parents basically chose drugs and alcohol, it sounds like, over her.
They were major drug addicts. Like,
yeah.
She had to raise herself.
Her dad is very distant. It sounds like mom is a bit of a mess. She's been on her own. She's an artist. She's, and yeah, she's been through some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you can tell she's done a lot of work on herself, and she talks about it very maturely.
Mm-hmm.
But she's still young, and she's still, she's still, all this stuff is still fresh for her. Wasn't that many years ago?
Yes.
She had a rough childhood. Very rough. Yeah.
And yeah, she's been processing it, but she probably now the next step for her is to figure out relationships. And maybe that's what she thought, and she came on the show.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, this whole dynamic was so bizarre. And so she and Alex click pretty instantaneously.
Mm-hmm.
And Alex has also a sad story where this guy, Alex, it was like this whole thing was awful. He was bullied. He was weird. He said he had like a big afro. He was weird. He was nerdy. He, I guess had braces. He was very dorky.
Weird clothes.
Clothes. He was just a quirky kid, and he ate lunch alone, and people would
in the bathroom. And
then people would knock his tray down at the lunchroom, like no one wanted to eat with him. That is just so painful and awful. And that just broke my heart. And so you can see, Alex matured and had a little bit of a glow up, but he's not gorgeous. He's cute, but he's not like, whoa, He
seems very young. Like he...
Yeah, I didn't write down his age. Why didn't I write down his age?
I don't know, but he said he because of all that, probably because of all this bullying and all the stuff he experienced, he kind of flunked out of school, and he had ADHD, and he got kicked out of his house.
Mm-hmm. Which is crazy.
So he has also had in a different way, but a very rough childhood. So I think they that's what attracted. There's sort of these two, wounded birds that find each other, and they're both very sweet, and he's very sweet. But he's just, he listens to her, and he's empathetic, and he kind of says all the right things in the moment, but he didn't really seem really adept to be able to really talk to her about a lot of the stuff she was trying to talk to him about.
Yeah. I mean, he got very fixated on this whole avoidant attachment thing. So they start talking about attachment and attachment styles. And he obviously sounds like he's anxiously attached. And Madison, it says, yeah, I tend to be avoidant. That's what I tend to do. I tend to run. Mm-hmm. Now, I feel like Alex really took that and held on to it as if like, this is how our relationship's going to be. Because he basically said, I had dealt with avoidant people in the past, and it was very difficult and all of that kind of stuff. I get that completely. But, because someone's avoidant in one relationship doesn't mean they're avoidant in every relationship. And part of the process of being with someone is to help someone have a more secure attachment. Obviously, you both have attachment issues because you both have these issues from your family of origin not protecting you. So of course you're both have issues with attachment. You just attach differently. And so it's almost kind of like he got scared or something. Like it was almost like she just said something and he's blaming her, like he's blaming her for maybe a past relationship. And I thought that was really unfair. And then the other thing that's weird is her dynamic with Alex was so different than her dynamic with Mason, and we can get into that, but I don't know if you have more to say about Alex.
No, not really.
I mean, he's kind of boring. I'm sorry. Yeah. He's not that exciting.
No, he didn't talk a lot. He's just sort of like listened to her talk. She talked a lot. I just got tired of, I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah. Oh God. And these stupid stuffed animals, her bear alien. I have this Beryllian. I sleep with him every night. Beryllian. And, you gave me Beryllian. God, I'm so sick of these stuffed animals with these people.
Yeah.
Enough with this.
Yeah. There was something real annoying about her. Like, just, I don't know. Maybe it's my age. I look at that and I'm like, ugh.
I think, you know what it is? She's one of these people, I'm sure maybe I was probably this way when I was that age too, but she's one of these people, like, she's gotten a couple years of therapy. She's had this really rough childhood. She's gone through a lot. She's had years of therapy. I'm sure that therapist has said to her many times, you're strong, you can do this. Look at all the things you've overcome. And I feel like she's kind of got that fresh, like, I know everything kind of glow about her. And listen, I think she's probably much happier. She's in a better place, but like, there's a little bit of like, you have a lot to learn. And maybe it is the age thing, but she definitely feels like she knows everything she needs to know. Do you know what I mean? It's like
she's teaching at you therapy 101.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and then we have Mason. So Mason is 32. I can't believe I didn't write down Alex's age. He's 32. He's a cinematographer. That whole story was crazy. He started off being a skateboarder, and he also didn't do well in school. He was terrible in school, but like the one thing that he could do were these videos. And so he applied to USC and got in and into, I guess, their cinematography program. And then he lucks out on a job. I mean, to me, I really feel like Mason has been given a lot.
Yeah, Mason's the benefit of a lot of privilege. He said he went to USD, I thought.
Oh, USD. Sorry.
University of San Diego? I don't know. He had such vocal fry. It was hard to hear what he was saying most of the time.
Terrible vocal fry. Yeah.
But anyway, he sort of like lucked his way into a career.
Into a pretty interesting, cool career. Do you know what I mean? It was like, wow, you just kind of tripped into that, didn't you, Mason? So with Mason, I don't know if I should even get into Meg, but like, so Mason has also his own triangle happening where it's between Madison and Meg for him. And Madison, what's interesting is, as I mentioned, Madison I don't think she knew what to do with Mason. Do you know what? I think Alex felt very safe and sweet. And I think she felt like, oh, he can, he's so kind and caring. And I think Mason, maybe she was doing maybe what she maybe does normally or in past relationships or past experiences of kind of going to that place of, I know I'm hot. I know how to flirt with this guy. And
it was very
I know
flirty.
I know how to trip him up, and I know how to make him like drool.
Yeah, no, they had this, it was just sort of this sexy, flirty, talking about lap dances maybe that was with Meg. I don't know.
Well, cream pies.
Yeah. Oh my God. I don't even want to know. I was like, cream pie. Why are we talking about this? Yeah, I don't know how she rolled into how she got together with Mason, honestly. But they did, and they bonded, and then we have kooky, crazy Meg.
Oh, hold on. Before we get to Meg, because I have a lot of feelings about Meg. One thing I forgot to mention was that one of the things Madison mentions to Alex that also freaked him out was that she sometimes will disassociate and disassociate from her body. And Alex is like worried. He starts to get worried about her and how can I help her and, all of these red flags. And it's a little bit like, a lot of people who have trauma disassociate.
Well, but see, Alex is, you could see the look on Alex's face because she did a lot of just blabbering on, talking. And then they pan to his face while she's saying all this stuff. And he just looks like a deer in headlights.
Yeah.
He's just kind of like, doesn't know what to say. This is all too much. This isn't what he came on the show for. Really, she's a downer. She's a complete downer. I'm sorry. I don't think I saw one like fun interaction. I'm sorry. I don't think talking about Beryllian was, fun and sexy. I mean, it was just like, God, she's exhausting.
You're right. I mean, it was either the tragedy of her life and all of these things that she's gone through, or I'm going to sex you up. Because and she really like, she does the dirty talk, and she knows she's a beautiful woman, even though he can't see her. He's a man. And that's the other thing I wrote down. I said, men are so easy. Men are so goddamn easy. All she had to do was talk about cream pies and her nipples are pierced and a few other things. And Mason couldn't see straight. It was like, oh dear God, Mason, get it together.
Oh, yes.
Men really are just...
They're easy. They're basic.
Easy. We make them so much more complicated than they are.
Right. We think there's so much more going on than there really is.
And Mason's just like cream pie. Okay. So let's get into Meg, because Meg...
Now listen. Meg, first of all, let me ask you. Meg is an oncology nurse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where she's supposed to be making people going through cancer treatment like feel calm and comforted. Can you imagine if she was your oncology nurse?
No. There were Sarah's also an oncology nurse.
Which one was Sarah?
Sarah is with Ben, your favorite person.
Oh, her. Yeah.
I thought that was so interesting.
Okay, yeah. I don't know about her either, honestly.
Yeah,
but definitely not Meg.
Meg is the kind of person where I could imagine myself meeting her at a party and being like, I never want to spend time with you again. Mm-hmm. Not because I think she's a bad person. Like, I really don't. But Meg is not my cup of tea. And I don't think I would. Yeah, I don't think I would be her cup of tea either. Like, that energy is too much. And I mean, the fact that she mentioned Joe Rogan and aliens and, things like that. I was like,
they're into conspiracy theories. They bonded over conspiracy theories and aliens.
Yeah. About controlling the weather. And this was not a joke. And I'm like, no, oh dear Lord. So you lost me.
You lost me at Joe Rogan. Yeah.
But then you really lost me at controlling the weather, like aliens controlling the weather. And I'm like, are they joking? No, they're real. And Meg would corner you at a party to tell you about the time, this Joe Rogan interview she heard. I mean, too much. I'm sure she's a lovely person, but
yeah. No, it's, and I just called her, I kept writing down spray tan because she kept talking about how she had a spray tan and it matched her orange shirt that she was wearing. Yeah.
So Meg is really into Mason, and I think she was into him from the beginning. And they seem to have a lot in common. They liked a lot of.
Why did they break up?
A lot of the same things and all of that. But I think that what happened, and I don't know. I mean, I think that so something happened along the way, because it seemed like Mason was bebopping through with both Madison and Meg, and he seemed to be interested in both of them. And then in one of the pods, in one of these sessions with Madison, Mason kind of drops in and says, oh, you're my number one. I think you're my number one. And expresses all these feelings to her, which really made no sense. Mm-hmm. So the minute Meg found out about that in the lounge, I think Meg got her ego. Like, I think that's why she broke up with him, because it really, and listen, I do not blame her at all. I do not blame her, because she's right. You want the person that's going to be with you to choose you, not out of default. And that's one of the problems with this quote unquote experiment is it doesn't really allow for breathing room at all or any of that. It's almost like, no matter what decision if he breaks up with you, that's terrible. If he says, let's get married, you're always going to be doubting him. So neither way it's going to work. So I actually have to give Meg some credit for this, because I don't know if I could have done this. I think I would have gone and said yes and gone to Mexico, because I think that took a lot for Meg to be like, no, I'm not doing this with you.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that's them. So
that was that.
Yeah. And so then I can't remember the order of things. I think that they break up, but before that, Madison essentially breaks up with Mason.
Mm-hmm.
And
then Alex breaks up with her.
Yeah. And then Alex breaks up with her because, well, one thing that, did you notice this? One thing that Madison did was that it sounds like all the women, and maybe the men too, everyone seemed to have this agreement of we're not going to share names. We're not going to get into this because we don't want this jealousy. But I feel like Madison at one point comes in and tells Mason, oh, you're Meg's number one. And he expresses that, oh, I feel guilty. I feel bad about that. And I was like, did you really need to share that with him?
Right.
I mean, that didn't feel particularly fair. And then, and she feels like, she says to him, she feels like her other connection affirms her more. And I don't know. I don't know how this all happened.
I was so confused. By this point, I was so exhausted by these people. And, we're like in the last episode of me watching 6 episodes in a row that I just kind of gave up. I'm like, okay, they're all breaking up. That's all I need to know. I don't even care why. I don't even care why. They've all just broken up. So, okay, that was complete waste of my time.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to go through.
Don't even bother. Who cares? Seriously, at this point, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
They all broke up with each other.
And Madison and Meg do end up having a conversation yet again about all of this kind of stuff. But yeah, this is what really bothered me was this. I did not understand Mason's motivation for telling Madison he was totally into her. And it was very clear once he said that Madison, I think, kind of lost something. I don't know. Or it turned her off. I don't know what that is. But then he claims in their breakup that he, the minute he said it to her and he left the pod, that he regretted it, which is even more god awful. I think that's another reason why Meg was done.
Yeah, they don't know what they're doing. You know what? They're hedging their bets. They're just trying to make it to the next level. Mm-hmm. Clearly, Mason was.
Yeah, I think Mason really was.
He's like, how can I get out of here with someone and go to the DR or Mexico or wherever they're going? Mm-hmm. Yeah, whatever. Moving on.
But I really thought, hold on. I know you're done with these people, but let's talk about the final breakup because this shocked me. I was really surprised. I thought that Alex was going to ask Madison to get engaged. But what's so interesting is that I think he saw a little bit. I think he saw a little bit of her in that moment because this whole Mason issue, he was defending Mason, or he was basically being, he was being diplomatic. He basically was like, you have your side, Mason has his side. And Madison was so angry at him for not just saying, just validating her feelings. And I'm like, yeah, I'm with you. But he has been validating your feelings. He just sees a different side of it. And then that pissed her off.
Well, she needs some more therapy.
Yeah.
She's not done with her.
But I think that's
process.
I wonder if that's what triggered him a bit. Of maybe that was the thing that kind of got him to be like, I don't think I can do this with you.
Yeah, I think he was exhausted. I mean,
you think he was exhausted by her too?
Yes. If I'm exhausted, he had to sit there and listen to her for I don't know how many days, go on and on and on. And now we're getting into triangulations and, I mean, it's just, I think he made a good decision.
Yeah. It was a good decision. It was surprising, but it probably was.
I can't spend the rest of my life like this. Going through this is too much. And I think there's something a little more sinister about Madison. Scratch the surface. And I don't know if she's going to come back. They spent so much time on this.
Oh, we do see her. She dyed her hair red.
I know. But the thing is, we see these clips of people. We all know that they come back and they have a barbecue or whatever in wherever they're vacationing. That happens every year. So that's not surprising, but is she going to come back in some other way, and be a bigger part, not just show up. They all show up for this barbecue or whatever it is. But is she going to come back? Because they spent so much time on these people.
Mm-hmm. They did.
Especially Madison. She was like the focal point of this whole thing. But who's she going to come back to? Neither one of those guys are on the show. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they for this love rhombus or whatever it was, we spent a lot of time on it. And you're right, nobody's engaged. Not one of these people is engaged. So yeah, it's very.
So I'm really not here for it. I'm not here for Madison anymore.
So let's talk about Daniel and Taylor.
Okay, this one was.
Daniel is 29. Taylor is 31. Daniel's very insecure about his height. He's 5'8". Mm-hmm. Now, I want to say, isn't the average height for a man like 5'9", 5'10"?
I think so.
So being 5'8", I mean, listen, I'm married to a short man. So to me, 5'8" sounds huge. Oh, God. But, I guess he felt a lot of anxiety about being 5'8", which I felt like that's not the end of the world. Anyway.
Well, I can see that. There's a lot of focus on tall men.
I know.
Right now, 6'5", finance, blue eyes.
Works in finance.
Yes.
So. Well, but yeah, I just want to say my husband's short and he is so fine with it. He's like not insecure about these things at all. He's not insecure about being bald. That's why I married him, because he was so secure within himself. You know?
No, that's great. I mean, look, you can't control something like that.
Yeah, so it's not anybody's fault.
You got to go with it. Yeah. But women are. I see Layla and her friends, they talk about, they're ruthless.
Oh, really?
Because there'll be like some really cute guy that likes one of her friends, but it's like, he's too short. And I'm like, what? I'm like, well, you guys, height's not everything.
Yeah. And I would like to just say to the listeners, my husband and I are like the same height. Our son is 6 feet tall. So just because you marry someone short, I have a lot of recessive, because our father is very tall. I have a lot of, my genes carried through. So I just want to say, it can happen.
But these girls aren't thinking that far ahead. They're just thinking about, what's right in front of them.
But, if I myself was 5'7", 5'8", 5'9", or taller as a woman, I can understand that of like wanting to be with someone who's tall. Like that I get. But are these friends of Layla's, are they tall? But if you're a woman who's 5'4", 5'8" is great. Like why? No, that's not good enough.
No, 6 feet. 6 feet is a threshold. Well, and Layla has a good friend who is 6 feet tall. Mm-hmm. So she has to get tall guys.
Okay. Yeah.
But even girls who are normal, 5'4", 5'6", whatever, they want the 6 foot tall. Really? They want that. They do. It's very important. I hear about it all the time.
Oh, okay.
I'm just reporting.
Yeah, no, I am, like I said, it's surprising to me because that's not ever what I looked for, but okay.
Okay. And again, love is blind. But anyway, yeah.
All right.
He's self-conscious about that. And we find out, maybe we know why he's self-conscious about it. Cause I think Taylor is taller than him. Mm-hmm. And,
is she? Because wait, they were the same height and she was wearing heels.
Really?
Yeah, I know. I wanted to see their height differences when they met, and so they were the same height and she was wearing heels. So I don't know how tall the heels were, but I think she's about 5'6"-ish, 5'7", maybe. Okay. Anyway, they said one of these things that every year people say this, my person. Please, we need to stop saying that. My person. This idea that, again, not even just that there's one person, but that you're supposed to be searching, like this is the goal of life, is to find your twin flame or to find your quote unquote person. Like,
well, Tess, you got to think back when you're in your 20s and 30s. Yes. And this is
I don't think I was saying I wanted to find my person.
Okay, but you were thinking it.
Yeah, I was thinking that I wanted to meet someone, but I wasn't my person. Again, maybe it's just age, and these are just these expressions.
These are expressions. Look, twin flames wasn't even a thing when we were. I mean, I just learned that in the last few years. Okay, I mean, yeah, people talking about this is all new. This is all the age of Instagram and all of this stuff. This is just what people say.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm sure they even encourage them to say this kind of shit. They probably tell them. The producers probably tell them, say things like, my person. I'm looking for my person. I'm looking for my twin flame. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I don't even know where to start with these two.
Well, I honestly didn't have that many notes about them. But obviously, it's, when you go back in time, once you see the end of them, a lot of what they showed us now makes a lot more sense. I'm like, why are we talking about Instagram handles? So we learned very quickly, like the two of them liked a lot of the same things. They're both really into Christmas.
And Taco Bell.
And he does say that his oldest sister is blind. So this is one of the reasons why he came on the show. And Taylor, we know her father's sick and she feels guilty about being there while her father's sick. She's also a nurse. Taylor's also a nurse. And, they both kept talking about like how connected they felt, how they felt so like they liked so many of the same things. It's like you were meant to be here. You were put here for me. So I thought they were just going to have a lovely love story. And no, they don't.
Yeah, because when they met, they seemed very, she didn't seem bothered by the height. That wasn't a problem. They seemed attracted to each other.
He thought she was gorgeous.
Yeah. And so, you thought, oh, okay, well, this is like the easy couple,
Yes.
The easy couple of the season. And they, I'm trying to remember now, they have the reveal, he proposes and then they sit down and talk. And then I guess they say goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, dun, dun, dun.
Well, I guess apparently she was up all night, like couldn't sleep. And it's revealed that she said Daniel felt very familiar to her.
Mm-hmm.
She says that she got a follow request on Instagram a few months before she left for the experiment.
Mm-hmm.
She remembers like looking and going, I don't know who this person is. And then like maybe not following him back or not accepting the request. And then I think it sounds like then he took the request back. But she's talking about how on Instagram, you can see all the things. And she mentions that she loves Christmas and she loves Taco Bell and she's very connected and faith and family and a lot of these things. So now she's questioning whether or not, number one, I mean, it's two things, right? One was that you, Daniel? And number two, what the F? If that was you, then what's going on here?
Yeah. So he would have known what she looked like.
Mm-hmm.
And he used the information in her profile to ingratiate himself with her. When he might hate Taco Bell, it's like he just
that would be weird. Who hates Taco Bell? But okay,
who hates Taco Bell? But anyway, so he used that information. So that's a big no because that ruined. And now we're going back to what was it, Lydia and Uche? Remember that a couple of years ago. So they had actually dated each other before the show. And then claimed that they, both claimed that they had no idea the other one was cast on the show.
Well, and Uche thought that Lydia did know. He's such a dick.
But that was after the fact. If he thought she knew that, well, I guess he didn't know she was on the show at that point.
He was claiming that she was at his apartment and that he had been applying for the show.
She knew he was applying.
That she knew he was applying, or maybe that she saw something in his house or something. I don't know. And Lydia was like, absolutely not. But who knows?
But then when she met up with him in the pods and she recognized his voice, his name, she did seem genuinely surprised.
Yeah.
That that he was there. And she's like, oh, it's Lydia. And they decided to keep it a secret and just go through the experiment and whatever, and just not talk to each other. But yeah, this is a little bit different, but it still feels creepy and disingenuous. And
well, can I ask you, based on what you saw, do you believe that it was Daniel? Do you believe that Daniel knew that he had messaged her, that she showed up here? Do you think
I don't have enough information? I really don't, because we didn't hear his response. It was like a cliffhanger. It was like she tells him this, that, and obviously she must have told a producer after she saw him. He looks familiar to me, and they must have let her look at her phone or something. They must have given her phone, let her go on there, look at the Instagram, check this out, because she seemed to come with, details. She said that he followed her on Instagram, so she might not have a private account. It might be just a public account.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Anyone can follow you. And, she looked into it, and she seemed to think that he had all this information a long time ago. But it could have been, if they live in the same area, I mean, a lot of people, they'll just follow all kinds of people. How would he have known that she was going on the show? Because she couldn't, at the time they were applying or being recruited, a lot of times these people are recruited. It's not even that they apply, they're recruited.
Yeah.
And so they would have had to have been recruited at around the same time. And how would each other have even known?
Yeah.
I
don't know. I want to give Daniel the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
But I just kind of felt like, based on what I saw, he wasn't denying it like the way you would if you were like, wait, what are you talking about?
But he didn't even get a chance to respond.
Okay. Maybe, who knows? Who knows?
It was like they just cut off. He
did respond. He did say a few things to her. He did say,
what did he say?
I can't remember now. But he did, I feel like he did say to her something about, I think he was trying to clarify some things. I don't know. Maybe it was at the very end of the 6 episodes. I guess I was delusional by then. I have no idea. I now have to go back to Devin and what's her face's Virginia's reveal to see what I missed. But yeah. I guess if for whatever reason, if he had maybe tried to follow her or not, it is possible that he just never made the connection.
Right. It was innocent.
And
because that's what people do. People follow other singles and people their age in their area. And then they have this kind of network of friends. And that's how they meet people. It's like, because then you follow this person and then you see their friends and then you might want to follow their friends. That's how people network and they build up. So this could be completely innocent, not intentional. And that's the cliffhanger. We don't know. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to watch the last 5 minutes or so of the episode 6. I guess, I was just so exhausted by that point that I think I was just like, oh, please end this. But I'm going to go back and so that we can pick up next week.
Yes.
When we're going to do episodes 7, 8, and 9.
Yes.
And we'll find out.
Yeah. Okay. We will get to the bottom of this.
We will get to the bottom of
this mystery. This goddamn mystery.
Whew.
Yeah.
Wait. So now it starts getting good. I always like getting past all of this. We want to get
the way you talk, Brooke, you would think that someone's putting a gun to your head.
It's too long. It's too much. It's too long. It's too much.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I said this every year. I don't understand why. I understand that they want to show these things in sections. And so let's see all the pods, but you could break up the pods into 2
Yeah, they don't.
You really
drop. No, the fact that they drop 6 episodes in one day is ridiculous. Exactly. Do 3 episodes, then 3 episodes, then 3 episodes. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
So it's very hard. It's a lot to process. And it's like, I have a full-time job. I am not FYI, everyone.
If you didn't figure this out by now.
Yeah, if you haven't figured it out, this is not a professional. We are professional. We do the best we can, but we are not full-time podcasters.
Yeah. Well, our entire podcast is based on our other jobs, Brooke.
Exactly. So we have to keep them. We cannot quit our day jobs. We cannot quit our day jobs.
Oh my God. You know what? That would be so funny. If our podcast took off and we didn't have to work anymore, we'd have to keep working.
We'd lose credibility. We'd have to keep working.
Oh my God, we're trapped. We're trapped. We're trapped.
So, yeah, we're doing the best we can here. Sorry, people. I'll try to make it more professional next week when I only have 3 episodes to watch.
This show, I swear to God. But it's still good. I complained about it in the beginning. I'm still like, oh yeah, I'm totally into it. Can't wait for the next episodes.
Yeah. Can't wait for the next
that I'm going to complain about for another hour and a half. Well, thank you. If you're still here, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for following us. If you want to hear more from us, please go check out our Patreon. You can, if you haven't already and you're a fan of ours, please give us a 5-star rating and review, and subscribe to the show and spread the word. Tell your friends. We're on Psych Legal Pop on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and Blue Sky. All right. That's it. Thank you so much.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
Hi, this is Hannah Berner from Giggly Squad. Have you ever put on a bra that makes you feel like a goddess? Prepare to be obsessed with the Dream Angels Wicked Bra from Victoria's Secret, the iconic brand behind the world's most comfortable bras. And I only wear the most comfortable bras. The bestseller features an innovative sling for perfect lift without padding, and the fit is chef's kiss. Awaken your inner goddess with new colors and super femme lace embroidery. Find out why this bra has thousands of 5-star reviews and counting. Shop it in stores and online at victoriassecret.com.